Starfield Shattered Space DLC has been out for quite a while now, so I'm assuming everybody has finished it. And the ending is, well, it's cool, it's strange, and it leaves a lot of questions. But I do think the way that the Starfield Shattered Space DLC ended took away one massive thing from the DLC itself, which really was something that everybody looked at with awe, and it looked absolutely amazing. And that is the Scaled Citadel. From the start of the Shattered Space DLC, you cannot enter the Scaled Citadel, and the whole purpose of the DLC is finding a way into it, and then finally getting in there to save Anasco Varun. Obviously, if you've played it and you've finished it, things go a little bit tits up, and, Anasco, well, yeah. Depending on your dialogue choices, you can either help or completely hinder the guy. And either way, unfortunately, the result is the same. Now, if you do want to know what happens regardless of what you choose, I'd recommend checking out this video in the top right-hand corner. This is a sort of a breakdown of what happens regardless of which way you go. Obviously, at the end of the DLC, you do get yourself a pretty cool apartment, which is nice. But it takes away from the fact that we do end up losing the Scaled Citadel regardless of your choice. And I think that is a massive shame. The Scaled Citadel is a sort of wonder of Dazra. It's the biggest thing there, and it's something that you just are intrigued with. You want to get in, you want to explore, and you can do that. You can go into the Scaled Citadel and explore in the final mission of the DLC. But when you are progressing through it, you have an endless amount of enemies attacking you from all sides. So these enemies are coming at you from everywhere, you're getting absolutely pummeled, and you don't really have the chance to explore it fully, which would be fine if the Scaled Citadel remained intact when you'd finished the DLC. And unfortunately it doesn't, and I think Bethesda really missed the mark on that. The Scaled Citadel, I do think, should have stayed in. There are so many opportunities that could have enhanced the DLC with the Scaled Citadel still being there, and it is a focus point of Dazra. Going through that final mission, it is insanely big. There is so much there is so much to do, and it just looks cool. There are so many rooms that branch off into various areas. There's so much loot that you can collect along the way. But a lot of people, I think, myself included, I have a play style of I'm going through, I'm doing the mission, I'm killing the enemies, and then I'll explore as I go round, but I won't deeply explore. I'll finish the mission and then I'll come back to that area after or at a later point where I can fully dissect the entire POI, empty every room, empty every little thing, and come back over encumbered like a fat camel. And it's fun doing that. But this DLC takes that away from us, which is a massive shame. Once you finish the DLC, everything goes tits up, and it gets destroyed. As you can see here, the Scaled Citadel is no more. Regardless of which way round you choose to finish the Shattered Space DLC, the Scaled Citadel will disappear. So if you decide to help Anasco, well, I've already discussed what happens there, and it's relatively disappointing. Or if you decide to go against him, take him on, you will end up destroying the Scaled Citadel, whichever route you choose. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, I do think this is one of the biggest flaws of Shattered Space, because the Scaled Citadel is an absolutely monumental piece of the city itself, and being inside there is just exhilarating. There is so much going on. The building itself is beautiful, it looks beautiful, there's so many rooms, so many areas to go through, and I think being able to go back in there once you've finished and being able to explore it fully would have been a much better way to use some of your free time once you've finished the storyline. Having some side quests in there would have been great, but the overall just building itself was loads of fun. There's one area in particular, and that is this one here.
A memorial in favor of the Serpent's Crusade. Never thought I'd see this.
And as Sarah says, this is a memorial of the Serpent's Crusade, which, depending on which pathway you choose towards the end of Shattered Space, is what you're about to cause once again. But the beautiful thing about this is all inside the Scaled Citadel, and it's like the NASA museum. So as you can see, there's various articles dotted around, which just look really, really cool. So we got the old ships there, there's a load of weapons dotted around as well, but you can go up to these funky tablets here and activate it and listen or read some of the things that are there. So the Wolf 359, the relics of a station accursed, destroyed by the most glorious fleet of the Serpent's Crusade in the first of its many victories. Now this continues all throughout this entire room, but the downside is a lot of the time you are going to be in combat. It takes a hell of a long time to clear out all the enemies, around about 20 minutes before you can actually freely explore this. And because it is once again inside the Scaled Citadel, it's a massive shame, because you are locked behind being able to only do this in the quest. And if you're just going through and want to get the quest done, then you're not going to stop and take all of this in. As you can see, there's a massive mech there, then loads and loads of the ship models, which I think look absolutely phenomenal. So we can go through this. The Serpent's Chosen waged the Holy Crusade in a grand and glorious battle across dozens of worlds, but the wretched forces of the accursed swarmed like flies, even more numerous, ever more ravenous. So it just looks stunning. The whole area is really cool. The set pieces, the way they've built this room, and basically the whole of the Scaled Citadel, it's really, really beautiful. I think this is one of, if not the best locations in the game. It looks phenomenal. It's a shame it's not a base game, and it's a shame you spend a lot of your time fighting your way through it, and you don't have enough time to stop and appreciate the beauty of everything that is in the Scaled Citadel. Now that in of itself is a massive disappointment. There's loads of stuff in that room which is just really intriguing, and as I mentioned, you're going through this area so fast, destroying everything around you, killing all the enemies. A lot of the times, and a lot of people aren't going to stop and explore it whilst they're doing that mission. When I'm doing a mission, normally I'll do that mission and get from point A to point B, finish that mission, and take note of what cool stuff I've seen along the way, so I can go back and explore it. But because of the way the Shattered Space DLC actually ends, you can't do that with the Scaled Citadel. The architecture of the building looks phenomenal. Just going through it, even through some of those firefights, it looks intriguing. You want to go and explore it. I think having the experiment fail and all of the grav drive stuff sort of disappear, having that building open and free for you to just wander around and explore at your own pace, maybe have some of the Varun Council move into the Scaled Citadel and that be your new sort of base of operations, an area that you go to visit some of the High Council, would have just been a really, really cool way to sort of finish it off and have Dazra as sort of a home place which you can come and check out. Because once you've done all of the missions, there's not really a massive incentive to come back here and explore. Yes, XP is good. You can get a decent amount of XP farming enemies here. But overall, there's not too much that would bring you back. There's no pieces of ships that you can earn. There's no missions that you can do that earn extra things. And the main story will not send you here anyway. So having the Scaled Citadel, I do think, just would have been a big draw for a lot of people. Being able to explore that fully without that combat scenario and find different things in there, different bits and bobs that you can actually go do, look at, mess around with, and interact with those boards at your own pace, I think is just such a massive missed opportunity. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Bethesda missed a massive opportunity with the Scaled Citadel? Or do you think having that storyline end how it did was the right thing to do? Let me know in the comments down below. So heading back up here, once you've actually done the mission, as you can see, all the footings are still here. There's a lot of rubble. A lot of things are damaged and broken. And there's still stuff. I mean, yep, there's things, there's the artifacts. There's the little points of interest that are up here, but it doesn't really hit the mark. But as you can see, everything else has sort of vanished and battered. It's all fallen apart. You'll come across a few enemies which you can take out. This is a good spawn point of them, to be fair. But as you run round to where the old entrance was originally, there is now nothing here. It's just a void and has been overturned by these sort of the rocks and the damage that was there. And there's just a massive, massive crater, which, yeah, I mean, it does look cool, and there's some loot at the bottom of it. There's loads of loot, to be fair, just dotted around in here, but still, it is quite cool. It's not as cool as I'd have hoped it would have been, but, you know, it is what it is. You can jump around, get a couple of loot boxes and items dotted everywhere, but yeah, it does miss the mark on what we could have seen. And for now, we are going to wrap that one up there. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like on the video and stick around for much more Starfield and Bethesda related content. We do have something special coming. Hopefully, I'm aiming to get it done by Friday. But if it's not up on Friday, it will be available on Monday. We are uploading videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this channel here. So if that sounds good, you know what to do. Follow those buttons. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.